Hey Google, can you help me fix my speaker in my QMX? Hi folks, before we do the intro, in this video we're also going to do an unboxing of some fun stuff that arrived in the post. So stick around to see what goodies I've got in this lovely DigiKey box.
Got that all worked out for him. W4WMT, VK2 Sugar Radio. That hasn't said to me, I wish
Hi folks, welcome to another episode of The Art of Engineering. And in today's episode, we're going to be looking at a rig that can be built as a kit or bought constructed. And we're going to be doing a firmware upgrade to make it do even more than it can do. And what rig might that be? It is the QMX from QRP LABS. This is the QMX Plus, and it is a 12-band QRP rig that does CW and the digital modes as well. It's an amazing little rig, and Hans Summers promised when this came out that at some point in time it would also be able to do SSB, single sideband. And guess what? That's exactly what it can do now. So in this episode, I'm going to show you the parts that I've ordered from DigiKey to make the microphone. We're going to do a firmware upgrade to get this bad boy on SSB. And at the end of the video, hopefully, I will demonstrate a QSO using SSB on this rig. Let's go! Now a quick word about the last video that I posted. We did a little bit of a merch drop. And we also talked about some homebrewing that was happening with my 49er and a digital VFO. And there was a lot of problems with the production values. And a few nice people actually pointed out the sound was terrible. So to all the subscribers that had problems with the music in the background of when I was talking, something that I promised that I wouldn't do ever again, I thought that I had worked out how to do it and it wouldn't be a problem. But it obviously was a problem. A lot of people let me know that that was a distraction, but also the fact that the levels changed radically. So that has got me thinking about the way that I produce my videos. So I would like to point out that at the moment I film on an iPhone. I have the cheap $27 lapel microphone and I edit on the phone. And that was to create a workflow that would allow me, whenever I have a few spare minutes in the day, to pull the phone out and do some editing. So if that's been frustrating for some subscribers, I know that that last video was the first time I've ever seen a negative count on the subscribers. And I don't do this for subscribers, but it was disappointing in so much as I must have upset quite a few people for that to happen. So to all the people that have Bluetooth hearing aids and maybe sore ears because of the ridiculous levels in that video and the changes in levels, my sincerest apologies. And it's got me to thinking about my workflow. My biggest problem up until now has been that if I film on the iPhone, I don't own a Mac. So getting film from the actual phone onto the PC is very, very difficult. I think Apple and iOS makes it deliberately difficult to find files. The file structure is weird. It's always very difficult to find the videos that you've just filmed and get them onto the PC. At least it is for me. So, and a lot of people that are more literate with this stuff might be going, you're an idiot. But anyway, for me, it's been difficult. I have discovered a way of doing it now. I have a USB dongle that plugs into the phone. I can just dump the file straight into that and take it onto a computer. So I'm going to start editing on the computer. I'm going to put a set of headphones in and I'm going to listen to the sound levels. And I'm going to hopefully get sound that's not as ridiculously changing in level. And something else that I'm probably going to do is just ditch the intro. I think it's probably a waste of people's time, and that's where the sound tends to be a little bit of a shock to the system as well. Once again, mea culpa. I hope I haven't upset too many people, and to the people that did give me constructive criticism, thank you so much, because that's what I need. I need to be told what the problem is, and it was all done in a very nice way as well. So thank you thank you, thank you. And to the people that persevered with the video, also thank you. Now, I did try to take that video off into AI and fix the sound and blah, blah, blah. In the end, what I did do was I unlisted it for a while, did an edit online where I removed the intro where there was a lot of noise and then put it back up again. So maybe it'll damage the channel's subscription rate, blah, blah, blah. In the end, this channel is a record of things that happen in the shack. And that's why I do it. I want it to be entertaining and I want it to be of reasonable quality. It's never going to be slick. Now, some of you folk might be more familiar with the QMX, not the QMX Plus. And this QMX is an 8-band rig. Still amazing for the size that it is, and this isn't in its case because I did build this originally. Now, when I ordered these kits, I ordered this one and the QMX Plus because I knew that the Plus version is a lot easier to build because there's a lot more space and there's a lot less that can go wrong. And like the QCX, which is very, very tight build, I had my suspicions that I would probably stuff it up. Now, this is my QCX Mini, and the QCX Mini is a great rig. This is the 40-meter version. This is the one I took to my trip to New Zealand. So video link below to the portable operations that I did in Auckland and places around New Zealand. And this was a great little rig to take. It's a single band. It's amazing. I am going to order a few more of these as single band versions. But if you want to build something and have a little bit less of a struggle, you can either buy it built. There is a waiting list. So if you want the QMX 8-band, for instance, a lot of people are ordering that and waiting a very long time. I didn't want to wait, so I'm glad I did what I did because I still ended up with this rig, which I've done videos on this modification where I've added a speaker, and there's various things you can do inside the case because it's quite a large case. The QMX Plus might be the go if you're worried about working in tight spaces. It's still a challenging build, but it's certainly a lot easier than building the QMX, which is the smaller version. So like I was saying, as you have the QMX and the QMX Plus, if you decide to go with the single band rigs to start with, or just for the sake of it, to have the whole set of the Pokemons you can buy from QRP Labs, this is a QCX Plus version compared to the QCX Mini. So these are single band rigs. This is a 160 meter and this is the 40 meter. And as you can see, when you buy the QCX Plus, it's not a huge rig, but this is very, very tantalizing to own. And that is why I tried twice. These kits are not expensive for what you get. They're an amazing piece of kit and definitely worth the effort. And like I said, the QMX, I will be ordering another kit and having another crack at getting it to work because I just enjoy the experience and the challenge of the build as well. And if the second one fails, well, then I might give up. But usually second time is a charm. So folks, if you're enjoying the mayhem, it'd be really great if you could reach down, hit that subscribe button and the like or the dislike. And also let me know in the comment section whether the sound in this video is better than in the past, because I will have edited this on the phone in iMovie, but I will have taken it into Premiere Pro and done some tweaking and some fandangling on the audio. So let me know, better, worse, or the same. 73, let's get back to the video. Now, it's at this time where we get to the most terrifying thing to do, and that for me is to upgrade firmware. Anything to do with computers is a problem. Anything to do with Morse code keys, I'm quite happy to have a play with, but this is always outside my wheelhouse, but we're going to give it a crack. Now, we're on the QRP Labs page, the QMX page, $102.47 assembled, $152. So literally $50 more to get it assembled. But why would you ruin the fun by doing that? Plus, there is a long wait. Anyway, we can scoot down. All the documentation links and operation manuals and everything else are on this page as well. When we scoot down, there's also information about the microphone, which we will be building as well. But if you go down to the bottom of the page, there is firmware. And we've got all these different versions of firmware. And this is the latest version here is version 9, which is the 3rd of November. And it is uploading. I can see it. And there it is there. So if we double click on that, that is our software that we're going to need to drag and drop into our QMX. So thus far, we are going really well. So now, we have our power plugged in. Now the QMX, you can run it at 9 volts or 12 volts, but don't be lulled into a false sense of security and think you can run it on your 13.8 volt supply. You are flirting with disaster if you do that. I have an output from my power supply here with a couple of power diodes in it that drop the voltage down to an acceptable level. It's a very inelegant way of doing it. You could do it a lot better ways than that, but it seems to have worked quite well, and I haven't had any blow-ups doing that, and I've done the same thing with my 12-volt battery in the field as well. So we've got our power plugged in, our USB cable, and we know this USB cable is a good USB cable for this rig because we've been using it for digital modes. So I'm assuming it's going to be able to find this as a USB as well. So what we need to do is we need to power up. And there we go. We are powered up. Now we need to hold down the menu button for a long time. And we get into a whole set of menus. I'm going to grab my instructions from over here. And once we've done that, we should be in the menu. So we should be able to step through with the bottom dial until we hit firmware upgrades. Let's hope we get to that. System can config, hardware test, factory reset, update firmware. Now, once you hit that update firmware, you press the menu button again, and it's going to say, are you sure? And if you are sure, you click the tune button, which is this bottom button down here. And the radio comes back on again, which is a good sign. And we're hoping now that we should be able to access SSB. Fingers crossed. So let's see. The mode button seems to be lower sideband. There's your CW. There's your Digi. And there's your upper sideband. And there's your lower sideband. Let's see if we can hear some stations.
Most of his life. So yeah, he would have been very happy to have that done, Brian. So I'm glad that got that all worked out for him. W4WMT, VK2 Sugar Radio.
Now, I have to admit that quite often when I order stuff online, it's kind of like a feeding frenzy, and I forget what's actually coming. I do remember some of the things that are in here, but not everything. So it's going to be as much a surprise for me as it is for you. Let's have a look. So we got a microphone, condenser microphone, connector jack, stereo, a connector stereo plug. Awesome. So that's pretty much everything that we're going to need. So why this giant box? Well, we needed to add something to the delivery to get up to the amount that we wanted to get up to. And what did we get? At some time, I'm going to start a foray into some surface mount. And the other great thing about this iron, of course, is that it has a conventional iron on it as well. I'm still using the Dick Smith temperature-controlled iron that I had when I was like 13 years old. And it's still working all right, and it is an old favorite. But at some point in time, it's going to have to be replaced. So I now have a conventional desolderer. I now have a hot air rework station for SMD. All the gear, no idea. Well, you can hear in the background, we have a QSO happening between the States and Australia. And it's working really well. I was going to, I've got a whole heap of these $27 mics, which have all died. And that's tantamount to the quality, but also the fact that I'm dropping them all the time. So I've smashed these things, and mics don't like to be dropped. Let's face it. So I've got a heap of these, and I was originally going to try and get the condenser mic inside one of these and build it inside this. If it was a larger body, I'd still be considering that as an option because I like to reuse stuff that's lying around the shack. But unfortunately, it's too small And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to print it. And as you will know, I do have access to 3D printers at work. And I printed the knob for the FQ101E. I'll just show you that. So when I was pimping this rig up, this part of the dial was missing. So I just made my own little file and it printed out in yellow. And at first I was thinking I'll spray it black. But as you can see, we've got that lovely hit of orange happening there. I thought the yellow was a nice little touch too. We love color here in the shack. And this is the printable web page. And you can print out the bottom and the top STL. So I am going to download this file. It's by Kilo 6 Alpha Romeo Kilo, Adam. So thank you, Adam. And if anyone else is interested in this, by all means, come and have a look. You can't share without attribution. So I'm going to get you to visit this page anyway. So if I remember, I'll be putting a link to this, but it's very easy to find. Anyway, let's hit download. Here we go. Download the bottom. Download the top.
Happy and it classic a day to see to see. Why everyone more? Oh yes, okay, good. Yeah, you're too tough. Oh, please, man, not have all. Yes. Oh,
Okay, folks, it's time to build the microphone. 3.5mm jack, condenser microphone. This is one of those little momentary push button switches. I got this on at JCar. I will flash the part number underneath here for that. And of course, this is the STL file. I think it's K6ARK, but I will put a link below to all the information for that as well. We need to build this. It isn't a difficult build, so I will get into that right now and we'll get it done. And the plan is also, I did buy a couple of 3.5mm plugs, but having a think about it, I'm assuming I'll be able to use an auxiliary cable, your standard auxiliary cable with the 3.5mm plugs on either end. So we're going to give that a crack before we make up a cable. I'll be able to use this when I buy some more straight keys that I need to plug into a cable. Right, let's go. Okay, a little bit of a wiring diagram, microphone, jack, switch, and obviously this wire here would have come straight down to here, but just to make sure that we understood where it's supposed to go, I've taken it around, but obviously it'd be straight down to this connector here. So if you need a wiring diagram for the QMX, hit pause. We'll get this wired up now. Now, back of the microphone, condenser microphone, has one actual contact that has this little pattern on it. So that one's the one that goes to this pin here on the on this jack. And like I said, these are all DigiKey parts. This will be the first time I've ever actually bought myself a wire stripper. No, it doesn't. Okay, well, here we go, dummy load. That is the microphone in all its glory, and we've managed to get it shut. And we're monitoring on the TS520, and this is what it sounds like. I'll just put the mic over near the speaker. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is Victor Kilo 2 Alpha Oscar Echo. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Well, I didn't get film of it, but lots of smoke came out of the QMX, and I was filled with dread. But then I realized it was just my bodgy modifications that had caught on fire. Pretty sure this chip here, I had it heat synced to the case, but I hadn't ground off the paint. It wasn't making very good contact, and I imagine probably not transferring enough heat. That's my guess. A bit disappointing. I've been using it a lot and I've never had any issues. So and I've had my hand on the top and it's never heated up, so I don't know what's happened. And as I strongly suspected, this was an absolute pile of dog caca. I did go to sleep last night thinking maybe I've actually blown the audio stages in this transceiver, which would have been a disaster because it'd be surface mount. And yeah, I'm presently in a bit of a discombobulated state of mind. It would have been unsafe for me to be going anywhere near SMD type components. But this morning we switched it on and I thought I had blown it, but the bands were just completely dead. So it is working. And I'm going to now remove this because I've gone to JCar and I'm going to show you what I got. Okay, we have been to JCar and we've got the same kit. This was the very last on clearance. So I have the chip and the actual heatsink, and this time I'm going to mount it on top of the board rather than trying to be clever. The other thing that I noticed when I looked at the data sheet for this particular amplifier chip is it's not supposed to be earthed on the heatsink. So I didn't have a mica pad underneath it. It wasn't insulated. So over time, it may have actually been starting to conduct to the case as well, which I think it creates a short circuit type situation. So that is most likely what has caused this thing to kill itself. So we will get that chip in with the heatsink this time, trying not to be so clever. And I'm hoping that this thing behaves itself. I have had this amplifier unit in another transceiver, and it thus far has been okay on the heatsink that's provided. And way to go, short circuits. That's the heatsink, and that is the chip that needs to be mounted on it. So one hole. Lordy, lordy, lordy. So some kid's going to buy this kit and be going, well, how do I mount that? Not ideal. Okay, bit of heatsink compound on there as well. Time to solder this up. And hopefully it fits in the box, because it says you can spread the heatsink, but you can feel that this is going to break. It's on the verge of breaking. Well, it appears that not only did I blow out that chip, I also completely fried the speaker. So it stands to reason. I mean, it's an 11 watt stereo amplifier, and I didn't have any attenuation on the input. So what I've done is I've put an attenuation pad. I've just made one up with a few resistors, and we're hoping that will save the day. And if it doesn't, we'll be putting a new speaker in anyway. Had this lying around, and it will get me out of trouble for the meantime. I just wanted to get a speaker in here, and we'll see how long this one lasts.
The Micah 2015 off at GGC. So it was, you know, the TEC Entron was fed directly, but the 6-metre driven element was a passive element.
Hello CQ, hello CQ, hello CQ, hello CQ, hello CQ, hello CQ, 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 CQ. This is Victor Kilo 2 Alpha Oscar Echo. Victor Kilo 2 Alpha Oscar Echo. Victor Kilo 2 Alpha Oscar Echo calling CQ on 40 meters and listening. Well, I was hoping to QSO on the QMX on SSB, but the bands have been absolutely atrocious. 2 or 3 nets happening at the moment, but most of those people are running linears or at least 100 watts. And I have been able to hear myself on a VK2 online SDR, the VK2 GGC, which we've got up here. Not a very, very loud signal. So unlikely to catch anyone this afternoon, and I am a spent force. We now have sound back on here, but for how long, who knows? Very arbitrary about the attenuation that I did put in. And I'm not sure if I like the sound of the speaker as well. So that's also, like everything in here, a work in progress. Let me know in the comment section below if the sound was better in this video or worse or the same, like I said earlier. 7-3, and I shall see you in the next episode of The Art of Engineering.